veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
hey, welcome back. Welcome back to Actually Aubrey. We're back for the Ready to Love Miami review. How's everybody?
Good.
Doing
Excellent.
good.
Excelente. What about you, Jeremy?
I'm doing really well. I can't complain at all.
All
And
right.
Kimberly, you okay?
Yep, doing good. Glad to be here again.
All right.
We got all our beautiful ladies here. We got Kimberly. We got the beautiful Jay. And if we can see Aubrey, we can say that about her, but we can't see her. So that
You know what? I used to support that channel, but
I'm done. Y'all are funny.
I don't know. You know what? I heard some things about that channel of yours, so you better watch it. You better watch it.
love you.
I know you do. guys. So just a real quick around. We're gonna do around the way. Ryan, we'll start with you. What did you think about this week's episode? Just a hit it and quit it type of situation.
This week episode, predictable a little bit.
What? Predictable? Well, it did have some good talking points, though. Might have been predictable for you, but it had some good talking points, maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely some good talking points. Yeah, we got. Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
All right, we're gonna get into it in a minute. What about you, Jeremy? Any thoughts?
Now this is exactly how I planned it panning out. Yeah.
Alex, we're reversing. We're doing what do they call that, Jay, when the women ask the men to dance? What's that called? You know, there's a term for it. But we're gonna let the guys go
What
first.
it's called.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah. Because it's a dance that they have. I forget what it's called.
Right. Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we did you. I'm sorry, Alex. Go ahead, Alex.
It was the episode was very interesting. I just think that it was probably the best of the episodes thus far. It told us a lot more about some of these people than we previously understood about them. So it was a good episode for the most part.
All right, Kimberly, your thoughts briefly.
Yeah, I agree. Good episode. Very interesting. Nice to see more about the ones we're keeping our eyes on. For me, LJ.
You still keeping your eyes on LJ. What is it about LJ?
I told y'all last time I like his spontaneity. Thanks for Alex for bringing that out. But just his romance side and just being a good communicator, in my opinion. So he's charming, as everyone likes to say.
Okay, all right. And Jay, I covered you.
No, but it's another divisive episode. Another one that just starts splitting these hairs with people. So,
not splitting them hairs. Oh my Lord.
What'd you think, Aubrey?
I thought it was like she said. It's gonna bring out a lot of division because for me personally, I saw some things that I feel like were totally unacceptable this episode. Just me. But
you got your notes ready so we can dig in?
All right, smarty pants. Look now, you know what? This is not called the Actually Alex show, all right?
Yeah, this is not magnetic repellent.
Yeah, you're repelling me, all right. But anyway, we open up at the white party. LJ, Justice, and Zoe were actually saved by Uncle Nephew Tommy. But as someone said, let's get to the love. Let's hurry up and get to the love. The guys meet up with Tommy to discuss what's going on. And I want to know, is LJ a typical lovable island guy, or is there more to him? Anyone want to take that one?
Let's start with Kimberly.
Well, sure. You want me to be biased? I can be. Yes, LJ is a typical lovable island guy. Well, no, I haven't dated many island guys, but I think he is because everyone keeps mentioning that part about how island guys are so charming, and he's living up to his name. I mean, even just like the way he caressed and came in to console Sharice later in the episode, I just feel like he brought a different twist to the scene where we're either used to guys who are just reserved, or we have the guys who are just all out there. But I think the LJ kind of meets us in the middle, and he's more of a listener, and I just like that about him. So yeah, I'll say yes to that.
Okay, so he is a typical lovable island guy. And so I guess you're saying it like in a good way, because I think when I heard it, I think the thing was it wasn't necessarily meant in the kindest of ways, if you follow what I'm saying. Like,
Got it.
island men kind of have a notoriety to them. Jay, would you concur with that? The stereotypical island guy?
I'm not familiar with VI guys a lot, but other ones that I am familiar with, like as far as Belizeans, Jamaicans, other parts of that Central America culture, they tend to be very charming, which means player charming. And so that's the route I think a lot of the women were meaning when they say lovable island guy, is that,
right, that's it,
over friendly with everybody. But with LJ's case, he has shown intentions. Even though he's opening himself to get to know everybody, he has shown intentions with certain people. So
yeah, I don't see it as him being like the typical where they say he's just into everybody, but he's been selective, I feel.
Yeah.
Who's he been? Who is this? Who's
we're talking about? We're talking about LJ, the guy that's from the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, but the lady said he had intentional connections.
Looney is definitely one of his intentionals, because he made sure he was reaching out to her.
Yeah.
And she said it. Shakira is not.
And then Tanisha also mentioned that he was being a little more intentional with her.
I think Shakira, and I guess he will get a pass from me on Shakira, because we'll get to that a little bit later on in the episode. But Shakira, I find that I think the men are kind of on to her. I think most people with a healthier psyche can kind of see that she's not in the best shape for this situation, for this reality show. She's not really prepared, and I think most of the men can see that, and they're kind of trying to stay out of her way, if that makes sense. But what about Justice? They talked to Justice a little bit. What were your thoughts about that, Alex?
Well, let me just mention LJ real quick. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I there? Hello?
Continue.
Oh, okay. Let me just mention LJ real quick. I am. My mic's, I don't know, for some reason going in and out.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Go to Ron real quick. Let me check it out. Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll go on to Ron.
Yeah. LJ, he's a
Go ahead.
We did hear you.
Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
What on LJ? LJ, like I said, he reminds me for my season, kind of like how Jason kind of played this, and gets friendly, gonna play it safe for a little while, but eventually you're gonna have to narrow it down and make a real connection, and that's when we'll see if he can hold that connection. That's the only thing I'm worried about with LJ. But right now, like I said, he's playing it safe. He's saying trying to get as many connections as he can, and charm as many people as he can, and just kind of just say the right things. And that's basically what he can. He's doing the best he can right now. I get it. I understand. But like I said, eventually he's going to come to where he's going to have to narrow it down, make that connection, and then hold it. And my thing is, can he hold it?
Right. What while we have you around, what about the other two gentlemen that were up on the chopping block? What do you feel about Justice, and what do you think about Zoe?
I think Justice, like I said, he gonna march to his own drum. And I think as much as everybody's trying to sway him one way or another to be this or be that, he is who he is. He ain't gonna change in 3 weeks on this show. And it's one of those things where you even rock with it or you don't. It seems like a lot of women want him in a different box. Some women might be okay with his box, but he's not gonna change. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it his way. And that's what he's been trying to say. He's been yelling it to you guys on the screen, man. I'm doing this my way.
Right.
This out my way. You know what I mean? This is how I roll. It might not be the typical way. It might not be where you want me to be, but this is how I do my dating thing. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it works or not. That's just him. That's what he's gonna do. Zoe is to me. Zoe is a little older, mature. You know, he a man's man. He gonna call it as he sees it.
He's older, but we're not sure. I'm not so sure about the mature thing. Is he just older? Because I don't see maturity or maturation in him at all.
Well, I mean, depending on how you look at mature, I look at it as in a man. You know, he's kind of like
he's set in his ways for sure. Yeah,
set in his ways. Yeah, set in his ways. Yeah, definitely. And it seems like
he's straightforward. He's straightforward. Gonna tell you like you feel. That's it.
Oh, he's straightforward, like that 7-year stretch that he stretched the girlfriend along, gave her the ring, and then the next morning took it back. Oh, he's straightforward. Yes. Right.
He didn't stay in that 7-year stretch by himself. She stayed there with him willingly.
Yep. And she didn't go by the ring. He did, and then he took it back hours later. So yeah. So okay, bros with before whatever. Okay, I see where your flag is flying.
No, I get what Aubrey is saying. He's a little guarded. Like I said, those type of guys, I like that. You know, they something rubs them the wrong way, they're gonna react on it.
Like the liquor store guy, but okay.
But you're right. It gets to a point where you're gonna have to get a little better at communicating and communicating.
Right. You know, you and I, we came up in Detroit. Okay, so let me talk about this just for a second. I'm a little bit older than you. I'm a little more mature, but I know this happens all across this country. If you live in an urban area, and you got a liquor store, right? And you're a young gal, and you go into the store, the convenience store to get a loaf of bread, let's say, right? Mom needs a loaf of bread, back at the house. And there's 2 or 3 guys that's always got a bottle, always sipping on something, right? You like 12, 13 years old. You starting to, as 12, 13-year-old girls go, you start to getting a little figure. You ain't out there trying to be hot, but you're just trying to get your loaf of bread. And here go the old men like Zoe. They just yo, baby, what's up, honey? What's up, sweet thing? What's going on? Now you minding your business, not saying a word. The next thing you know, you all kind of B's, all kind of H's. You just every little piece of trash that they can call out. That's the energy that Zoe is giving me in this episode. I'm sorry, I just gotta say it. That's the energy.
You're gonna disagree on this whole panel.
We gonna box. Round we gonna box because we both
box.
I don't agree with that at all. He's not giving me that energy.
We gonna box, but okay, we getting to it. Okay, but anyway, we move on to the next scene now. So, once again, okay, so we're gonna box on this go-kart thing too. That old dude, like he was in the NASCAR race and he was gonna get like $1 million prize. We gonna box on this too? Cause come on now. Your boy Zoe, 300 pounds of male masculine energy. Like maybe he took an extra shot of testosterone that day. I don't know what's going on with him. But like he running over everybody, breaking folks' wrists, allegedly.
Her wrist was already broken.
There's not even a prize.
Yeah.
There's not even a prize. I said allegedly. I'm being facetious, guys. Okay, come on, work with me here. Work with me. But there's not even a prize. So now you guys go. I'm gonna pull back. Go ahead. Whoever wants to take it, go ahead. Talk about it. Talk about the go-kart.
Jay, what do you want to say about that, Jay?
I'm about to have people mad. I'm competitive. Okay. So it'd have been me and Zoe going back and forth and we'd have been bumping each other. If you guys ever actually played those race cars things, you're going to get knocked around. That you leave there with your back hurting, your arm hurting, your wrist hurting. That thing is hard to maneuver. And I'd be in pain by the time I'm done, but I'm about to have the fastest score up in there. So me and him would have had a good time of talking mess back and forth. and I would have thought nothing of it. Now, Tanika or whatever, that probably wasn't the best thing for her to be doing with the wrist injury, because you come in there full health. Yeah, you can come in there full health, and the way that thing maneuvers and you get bumped around so hard, you going at full speeds. When people cut into you, they might not do it on purpose or nothing. That stuff hurts. I'm telling you, I leave there with a backache every single time. But
okay,
we racing. This is what we doing. It's a competitive thing. Now, all the extras afterwards, I probably would have got annoyed though, because I'd be like, bro, look at the times. My time beats yours. Shh. But I would have thought nothing of it, because I come from a competitive family like that. So for me, it's all S talk. That's what we do. That's all
it's
part
smack talk, right? I got it. Okay, or the other S. Okay, sugar honey iced tea. I get it. Ryan, you look like you chomping at the bit. What you got to say?
Okay, so yeah, he went a little overboard with the competitiveness, but you gotta understand that he knows this is a three-way, because Tommy said it's a three-way elimination, whatever date. He's looking at his competition. I'm taking you to a mindset of a castmate in this situation. And he's like, okay, I'm older. You know, I might not be as physically fit as the other two, so I got to shine somehow. And he's used got a little nervous. You know, it happens. And used his competitive edge, and it just went overboard like that. It was bad gaming, as you could say. But the women, when he was being competitive and saying, you know, I'm going to do this and stuff, if you can hear the women, they're backing it up and saying the same thing too. And then you always got to watch, you got to be aware of those green room switches, because that's a whole totally different time. And then now all of a sudden the women ain't feeling the competitive edge, but when you look at the actual scene, they high five and you know, it going along with it, and everybody's being competitive. So this whole scene right here, the go-karts and the date and everything, and I'm just gonna give you the tea. It's a setup. It's a setup. It's set up as soon as these guys hit in. They don't even see it coming.
Set up for what? Set up for what, Ryan?
This is what they do. I'm just giving you the straight tea. So they picked the two strongest women is what they felt. Between Charisse and who was that girl that was going after Justice? Yeah. They're handpicked for this. They didn't have no connection with these guys. You know, they're handpicked to be on this date. And they're told usually ahead of time, your job on this date is to go after these guys. And whatever guy falls or crinkles or makes a move is gone. So it's already set up this way. The guys don't see it coming. They're walking into a landmine right now. I don't even know what's going on. And that's how these dates are prepared. It's a setup date. So these guys.
What's the purpose? What's the purpose? To put the guys on edge, to cause them to be more tense, to overreact? Is that what you're saying? I'm not following your conclusion.
Yeah, because these guys are in the bottom anyway. One of these guys is going to go. They did not put them on a date with three, women that they have connections or a chance to have connections with. They pick two strong women. They say, hey, your job on this date is to go after these dudes, basically. And whatever one reacts bad is probably the one that's going to leave. But the guys don't know what's going on. They think they get going on the go-kart date. The women are already prepped, usually in these situations.
Okay, got you. All right, Jeremy, what are your thoughts? I'm gonna leave you out.
As far as like the whole production thing, like I'm not, I'm trying to figure out like how they would, go about doing that, and why they would, want to like try to damage somebody's reputation, putting in somebody that type of, that tense situation. But I was just a little bit confused. Like, it seemed to me that Zoe was already mad because he was in the bottom. So when he had got there, it kind of seemed that he had an attitude anyway. Like, and as far as like, now this is me personally. I don't know if this is just me, but if you going on a date and like y'all are going to do something competitive, or something like a little game between the two of you, I just don't think that the man is just supposed to like try to obliterate the girl that he's on a date with. At least, because they don't even know each other now. After you've been on, like, after y'all been dating for a while, y'all been like talking for a while, and y'all developed the, that playful, witty, competitive spirit that couples be having. Like, I'm gonna dust you in this. Like, that's different. But when you're first meeting somebody, or when this is like your few times like hanging out, it just doesn't, to me, seem, smart to completely set battle on them like that. It was kind of odd. He was almost treating them like men. Like, he almost broke Tranika neck. Like,
so extra.
Tranika was like, my neck, my back. I was, it was like really, I didn't understand that. And then I don't agree with how this all, shook out, with Alonzo either talking to Charisse, but I don't know if we got into that yet.
Yeah, no, we haven't, but thank you. And Kimberly, did I leave you out? Did you have something you wanted to throw in on this right now?
Oh no, I'm good on this one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Aubrey.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. Zoe is trying to be the wild card because the other two guys are playing super smooth. You got the Islander guy playing super smooth. Justice is in control. He want to do things his own way. He's smooth, but he's difficult, according to Katie and so forth. And in his own mind, he's very smooth. He
I think in his own mind he's smooth because the rest of us are seeing through that F-boy routine. But okay.
So Zoe was like, in order for me to stand out, I got to be the wild card.
There you go.
And the fact that he's very competitive, a lot of people are very competitive, in these kind of situations. As Jay was saying, I've been on those bumper cars. That's a rough ride. You got to be very competitive. You're going to get hit. So for Tranika to say, "Oh, he hurt my wrist is hurting," and wrist was hurting before you got in the car. First of all, and second of all, you shouldn't have got in there.
Can I direct your attention to Zoe and Charisse playing pool? And they talk about the process. Zoe gets louder and louder and aggressive with Cherie. What's up with him? He doesn't seem safe with the ladies. You want to address that? You want to talk about Zoe and Charisse at the pool table? Let's talk about that.
Are you asking me to address it?
Yes, if you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Go.
Listen,
go.
I don't have a problem with them the way they had the discussion. Because if they're going back and forth, being honest and true with one another, I don't have an issue with it. Her saying he had a pool stick, she had a pool stick too. Okay, so if they were in a relationship setting and they had this kind of back and forth discussion, it wouldn't be a problem. He wasn't overly yelling at her. He didn't call her all kind of names. He wasn't doing none of that. At least what we just saw, he didn't do that. Unless there's something to do with editing, because she said later he called me everything he could think of. We didn't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whatever she's talking about, she's been overly.
Go ahead.
She's been overly dramatic. They had an argument. To me, it was a very respectful argument. He told her how he felt. As simple as that. Because you telling everybody we making a connection, but you want me barbecued. So I'm not going to take that laying down. Simple as that.
But why not address that? If he overheard it, which apparently he did, why not address that? See, because I got a different take on it. To me, it's cowardly. You want to talk about, no, she's not your type. No, you don't like her. And we already know that allegedly he had a girlfriend doing the whole taping of this show. Okay. So why not? Let's talk about that. Why not? Let's talk about, you said you wanted to barbecue me. I don't understand why, Charisse. Why is it that when men get emotional, their go-to is aggression? That's what we need to talk about, because that's where it's unsafe.
But was he?
Listen, did you hear the part?
I've heard things like physical
abuse
stuff from people and all kind of stuff, and that just wasn't the case. Let's keep it real. We're gonna keep it real.
Okay.
He was being used. When she was at the bottom, when Devin left, we all said she had no other connections. That was her connection. She used him for his vote. She played on to him. And then when she got another connection, which I think is maybe on the other bald-headed guy or something like that, which said she got another connection, they're talking on the phone. It's the part you don't understand every day and everything like that. So he can tell when something has changed, when the energy has changed, when you come to me and you know we were talking good, and the next week I can't get a hold of you on the phone, or the energy has changed. So he's already feeling the type of way because of that. And then you're gonna come to me and say, let's talk about us. What about us? He looked at you like, girl, are you crazy? You've been, putting me on the back burner ever since you didn't got this other connection or something like that. You use me for my vote. You're fake. You're playing. You're leading me on. And he just wasn't about that. You already said he's a grown man. He's stuck in his ways. He ain't gonna play that. And she was playing games. Ready to Love could be a game sometimes. And you get mad at these men when you tell them to be real and stick by it and don't play the game and stuff like that. But when they get played within the game, now they're the evil guy, the physical abusive guy, and all these other narratives that they try to stick on these men, and it's not right.
And did you hear Cherie say, if this had been the old Cherie, she would have took that pool stick and shoved it? Now, who's getting violent? Who's thinking violence?
She said it from the get-go.
We're not talking about who's thinking it. We're talking, my concern in my discussion, Alex, for the record, my concern is with his loudness, his aggression toward her, his F-bombs, his language, okay? That's my concern. What she said in a confessional between her and the audience, in case you missed that. Jay,
I didn't miss it. That's still her personality. It's still her personality from day one.
That's fine. Okay, Jay, I'm talking to Jay. I would like Jay to go now. You're monopolizing enough. Jay.
Jeremy, hush. Okay, here's the issue. Here's the real issue. And we're going to keep it real like Ron said. Two people can be wrong at the same time.
That's true.
They both were wrong. Now, as a man, he sets the tone. If he came in with a certain energy and said, like you said, Aubrey, hey, you said this stuff, what's this comment about? Then we can have this conversation. But as a woman, I'm not supposed to keep egging a man on that's already up here. If he's up here, why do I need to match him? I'm not a man. So if he decides to get physical, what I'm going to do then? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. If you feel like you can beat that man up, then go up there. But don't go up there if you don't think you can beat him up. Walk away, remove yourself from the situation, especially if you feel so unsafe and all this. She walked out and then came back to get another word. That's a problem. You have a problem, sis. He has a problem as well. Why are you screaming at a woman? Why does she saying I'm a barbecue, we can need a barbecue him, make you go there? Why do you turn into the Hulk so easily? And she turned right into the Hulk when he said, I never wanted you. So you both two hurt people ready to explode on each other.
Because you're in a domestic situation. You don't see everything.
But that's the problem, though. You both are hurt people. You both are unhealed, not even started this process. You can't say they not, Ron, because if they were able and they was in a good space with themselves, they would have been able to have adult conversations.
Not as one is playing games, another one is
even if somebody playing games, you can have an adult conversation with them. If I'm in a
good from the beginning, he's not her physical type. She likes a guy like Big Mike. She like that's her physical type. Now, but she's flirting and playing along with him, and he caught on to it, and he got mad about it.
But didn't y'all say that's
mad about it? When the guys get led on, nobody says anything. When the women get led on, now it's a big problem. And you got to understand there's a game going on with this. And some people are playing it and some people ain't. He wasn't playing it. He got played. And that's just kind of he got mad about it.
So Ron, if you get played, that's the attitude you're gonna carry off with the woman. You're gonna go that level with the woman, or you're gonna walk away from her and move on.
Because I can guarantee you what he's not
literally
going
in
to
the same
do.
situation where literally I was with a girl on this show. She switched it and played in the last week of the situation. I just spent hundreds of dollars and time and all kind of stuff. And we're like, what part of the game is this?
But we didn't see you doing it.
You have a right to get emotional on that because you're in a domestic situation.
I get the emotion, but we didn't see you going to that level with your emotions, Ron. You kept your level, you kept your emotions bottled up and in check.
Because I was done with it. But the fact of the matter is, in his situation, I believe he did like her. I told you that they were kind of a match. In reality,
that's not a good thing. If that's how you like somebody, you got to think about it going outside of this process where the cameras are not around. If that's how you like somebody, that's not a good thing. You need to get that fixed.
Men don't like being used. For one,
nobody likes being used, but you got to get that.
Can I also ask a question?
Yeah,
like
if we get Jeremy in.
if we were going based on the first episode, like Ron, you had said that this is all a part of the game, because this is when Mike was saying that all of a sudden he wanted to have a baby when we all know that he didn't, to lie to Brandy. You said that like this is all a part of the game. It's a TV show. This is how it goes. Like you say what you need to say to make it to the next episode. So therefore, how all of a sudden now, because he feels played, like y'all literally said the first episode, that the women need to expect to get played, so people can progress to the next episode and such. Why is it that he gets the ability to disrespect people or lash out at somebody because he's upset? Nothing warranted.
Nobody should be really getting played, and he's old school. He's not going to adapt to the game part. Let's just face it. That's why
but I'm saying all of these, like most of these people are old school. Everybody is like in either their mid to late 30s or the 40s, and he's not. Right. He's one of many. So I'm saying what gives him?
I mean, like he's not hip to this. You know what I mean? Like,
but you signed, but like you signed up.
So why wouldn't he expect somebody to play a game on him? He likes to drag women along for 7 years, give a ring one night, and take it back 6 hours later in the morning. So what are you talking about, Ron? So what's good for the goose is not good for the gander? What's going on?
It sounds like I'm saying. It just sounds a little bit double-sided.
Here's the thing. I get what you're saying, Aubrey, 100%. And all he was saying is this: I caught on to the game. You're fake. These are all true in his words, and leave me alone about it. Don't come to me now and be like, what's up with us? And he's looking at you like, girl, you already know it ain't nothing else with us. You was never attracted to me, which you said on TV that he's not your type physically. That's not going to change overnight with Ready to Love. You're even their type physically or you're not. We don't have enough time to raise attraction. It's only 2-3 weeks. So you're not his type. And then now you're going to come to him and be like, oh, so what's up with us? And No, girl, don't tell me what's up with us. You know it ain't nothing up with us.
To just say that, then just be like, I heard what
he tried to. He's like, you fake. You coming at me like this. Leave me alone.
The way that he said that was completely out of the way. You don't be like, you fake as you do it like nah, he really made it like he came at her like he was holding a lot of pent-up aggression. Like, and I'm saying
he was upset. He was upset.
But I'm saying, but like just because you upset does not mean that that's how you talk to a woman. I just don't agree with that. And I'm saying that y'all haven't even been here that long for you to garner this much emotion about her anyway.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, in these type of situations, like I said, the whole scene from the get-go, like I said, on both of their cases, a setup scene. So we don't know. A lot of times, this is pent for the man to look aggressive. They do this every single season. So a lot of her back and forth is going to be edited out. It's going to look like it was him charging that, having a conversation directly at her without no comeback, which is not the case.
No, it wasn't the case, and that's why I said they both were wrong in this situation. Like, if she wanted to play the perfect victim, like she was trying to play,
oh yeah,
the word and all that she was doing would not have been there. The energy that she had would not have been there. She had very combative energy from the start. You could look at all her face expressions and all this stuff, but at the same time, if men are supposed to lead and set the tone like we want them to do, like they want to do in the world, you have to sit here and come to an adult and be an adult and talk to her like this. When she gets high with you, this is why I always use, I don't care for Joe Budden's attitude a lot of times, but that's why I use him a lot in this scenario, because he knows how to do that. He knows how to keep himself in check. When everybody else is getting up here, he'll stay down here. And what that actually does is actually piss the person off more to let, and the world would have seen Charisse act out more than Zoe. Zoe could have kept us even tone. If he'd have kept an even tone or whatever it is, he wouldn't have been the bad guy in the situation.
I get it, but I mean, you're saying that men have no right to have no emotional.
I am saying they don't have no right to have an emotional thing.
How about you have control when you have emotions? It's not about all people, all human beings have emotions. The problem is the undeveloped person does not know how to control their emotions nor their behavior when they get heated.
I haven't seen a man on this show physically hit a woman. I've seen a man on this woman show call a woman outside her name. Now, we've seen women hit men. We've seen other reactions. Nothing's crazy about Zoe. We actually all take a psychological exam before we go on the show. They're not going to put anybody crazy on this show.
Do most of you guys pass it?
Yeah, you ain't going to get on the show. It's competitive to get on here. Like, literally, people got to be safe. You know what I mean? There's women on the show.
That's the question we as viewers ask every season, Ryan. And no disrespect to you personally, but that's the question that we as viewers ask every season. There's 1 or 2 or even 3 persons on this show. Like, for example, and I'm not just going to say about Zoe. I'm not just going to say about Zoe or Justice, who seems narcissistic in his tendencies, which is an issue. I'm going to say that there's a woman on the show this year, Shakira, who should not be there, allegedly, because she does not seem emotionally stable. So it's not just about I'm trying to dump on the men. It's not. I'm an equal opportunity person. I'm going to point out your behavior, whether you're male, female, black, or white. I don't really care.
It's funny,
Charisse has shown sarcasm and aggression throughout the season up to now. Somebody's coming at her. Now it's a huge problem. She has been doing that since the first episode. We talked about this from episode 1 up to now. Now that she's getting some of it, now everybody has a problem with it. Zoe's being who he is. To me, he wasn't threatening to her.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing too. When you say somebody is being who they is, whether it's male or female, I got a problem with today's generation and today's society. Period. People seem to think that being who you are entitles you to treating people any kind of way. It does not, sir.
How did he treat her?
Listen, Orby, we don't live in a world where people walk on clouds and are nice to each other all day long. They're going to argue. They're going to have disagreements. It's going to happen.
They absolutely
If you've ever been in a long-term marriage situation or a long-term relationship, there are some drag-out arguments, bad arguments. People do it all the time.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. They're still people. What are you talking about?
Arguments on first dates.
What are you talking about, sir?
Dates.
Yeah, for real. It's crazy.
Yeah, show up 10 minutes, 15 minutes late on a date. You would get, hey, I got cussed out before for some, you know what I mean? You don't know what's going on with that.
What I say, this episode is divisive, and this is why I say is that because
you said it.
This is exactly why, because nobody wants to look at them both being wrong. They want to have one higher than the other when it's not. They both egg this on together. Neither one of them back down in the whole situation. And this is why you have those relationships with couples that keep fighting and get explosive till some of the cops is called and all this stuff. This just happened while I was out of town at my house. Like, I'm listening to it on the phone.
And I'm going to agree with you. But you have an excellent point that two people can be wrong, because I'm not about taking teams or sides. Okay. I'm really not. I think that you're right. I absolutely saw that Charisse could have walked away, but then again, so could Zoe. Zoe could have walked away.
It was the perfect storm.
Because
he doesn't have control and you have a competitive man. It's going to crush.
Absolutely. Let me.
You got a competitive man, and we just saw it's very competitive. We have an alpha female who's acclaimed alpha female. She said that's what she is. They're going to.
She's clearly a strong personality. They both are.
And they put them in a room together because of that. Production know what they do.
Let's get to a second part for a second though. What happened was I noticed something too when she talked to LJ. Her biggest gripe out of the whole thing is when she started crying over the fact that he actually said he didn't want her anyway and that he was yelling. So she has been through something like this in her past. This is why she's so defensive. This is why she got this defense mechanism, and that's her default go-to whenever somebody's being combative with her. She's been combative with women. She's been combative with the men.
And so is Katie.
Yes, but she's been combative with who would be the perfect victim in this is Shakira. Like, when you tell Shakira to go somewhere and all this stuff, Shakira ain't did nothing to nobody. No, she ain't say nothing to nobody and stuff like that. So you just have this aggression within you. And like Ron has said, when that aggression meets somebody else with that aggression, of course it's going to be explosive. That's it. And that's where we got to with this point. So the only part I didn't care for at the end of it is trying to act like you didn't have a hand in this. And that's why I said that's where I have a problem with a lot of women that do this. It's like, you have a certain temper about you and you know it.
A temperament, yes.
And you meet somebody that matches that energy or goes above it. And now you want to sit here and say it, because we seen it last week with Mike. But Mike didn't get aggressive, but Mike was aggressive according to her words. Mike was doing this.
That's a good point.
You got to watch that. You got to watch that. If this was just a one-time thing, I would say, okay, maybe Zoe was doing a bit much. But because she done did that with Mike before already, we had that situation with Randall where Randall was minding his daggone business. or
You're saying
whatever.
it's a pattern, is what
It's
I'm
a
hearing you say.
pattern
It's
with
a
her.
pattern.
Yeah,
Okay.
the only difference between Mike and the Zoe is I think Zoe and her had a lot more phone time and certain different conversations because she needed Zoe's vote at one point to stay on.
I want to, guys. We could talk about this. We're going to be blue in the face, and like I said, I have a time constraint today because we're doing a 9 o'clock Married at First Sight. I want to talk about, okay, the conversation was going on at the same time, and of course, maybe didn't get as much attention. But did you guys catch that when Justice and Kadian and who was that? Trinika were sitting down at the table, right? And Kadian is also a person who is a type A, I would say. You know, she always has to address something with the men. You didn't call me. You didn't call me. You didn't talk long enough. You didn't call me at 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever. Did you guys catch the fact that Justice kept saying to her that when I talk to you, you're always talking about other people on the show, other castmates. Did anybody catch that, or was I the only one on this panel?
He said that.
You caught it too, Ryan. What were your thoughts about it? Because that gave me a whole different insight when I looked at this a second, third time. Did that give you any room for pause why he would say that and what that actually meant?
Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. What's happened to me left and right. You can't. That phone is dangerous because your conversations are not going to stay with that person. You understand? These women are making friend connections faster than they're making relationship connections. So when I say to one girl is going to go to her friend, was going to go to her friend, and vice versa, he's trying to stay away from that.
Right, Ron. So are you, not to cut you off, but I want to get to this point real quick. Do you feel like it's possible that Kadian could be the bone collector, the bone carrier? You know what I'm saying? Like a person, you tell something to a confidence, you tell something in confidence, much like Shakira is saying. She told her something in confidence. She says something in the ladies' lounge, and Kadian seems to have this real interesting pattern of always carrying things back to other people.
Yeah, but everybody talking. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is. Everybody got a phone. Everybody got a friend. Everybody got information. Everybody's sharing it. You know, it's just kind of how we communicate. Is you in a group setting, so information.
I got you.
Information gonna spread quicker than lightning.
Okay, let's get Kimberly. And Kimberly, you have any thoughts about that? The bone collection of it all?
No, but Ron made a good point because everyone's talking. So I didn't like that he said that in that moment, especially because what is she doing any different than anyone else is doing? We've all seen that this is the normal thing on, the past seasons, that they all talk to each other. I mean, even in relationships outside of cameras, you talk to your partner about what's going on, or the person you're getting to know. You mention things and hint at it. So I don't know. Justice just always rubs me the wrong way. But I also am not a fan of Kaden, I think is how you say her name, because I do see that she's always like nitpicking to me. It's a lot with her nitpicking at the guys. It's like, okay, she's too, I guess, forceful with trying to force them to give her time when they're just not that into her. And so I did kind of like that Justice set her on her way at that moment. So hopefully she'll take the sign and move on.
Justice, he played this very smooth. And y'all can say he's not smooth, but I thought this was very smooth because he peeps the scene. He does what Zoe didn't do. He peeps that this woman's only job here is to come in and come at me. Because they just having a regular conversation. He's in a setup situation. He got 2 girls, 1 guy. If he's in a lose-lose situation, if he gets a little aggressive like Zoe and speaks his mind on whatever the situation is, they're going to play him as the aggressor. So he played it funny. He made a joke. Can I get a hug? Or I can't get a hug. Like, you know what I mean? He played it smooth like that to get out that situation. He knew what he was in. This is a setup. And he played his way out of it. Zoe.
But that same setup, that's what I was referring to about with Zoe. If he'd have did that same thing, just like how Kadian looked like the more aggressive type in that situation, Sharice would have been the same.
Yeah, hindsight 2020 though. You in the situation, it's happening right in front of your eyes. He reacted.
Yeah, well, he was in the situation and it was happening right in front of him, and he was smart enough to read the room and say, "No, I'm not about to do this with you."
Yeah, but Justice has a little more game. He's in the game a little more to peep that. Zoe seemed like he just an old school dude. You didn't see it coming, and he played it too.
Okay. just a random question. Do the time, Ron? You could probably answer this, or Jay. I'm gonna ask you, Jay, because you're gonna get to the point of it all. do times of calls, do they matter anymore? If somebody calls you and they're new to dating you, not talking about you're in a relationship with them, but they're new, you're just starting to see that person. Does the time that they call you, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, does that matter?
Not if I ain't established that when we first met. Don't call me at a certain time. Like, no. And especially, I know Ron would understand. You guys are filming for hours on that day. If I call you at late at night, that's the only free time I had to talk to you. I'll be assuming that you wrapped too.
Okay, is that what it is, Ron? Is that true? Because you guys get finished filming late at night, early in the morning?
Nah, that's not the case. The case is, people should be available on the phone. They're gonna be available to who they want to be available to. So if she feeling you, she's in your top, you in her top, she gonna pick up the phone. You gonna get the phone conversation, especially if it's elimination day where the men have the power. She gonna pick up the phone because she wants to make that connection. But I think in his situation, he just wasn't feeling her. He wasn't trying to reach out to her like that.
But
it ain't no time to reach out to 9 or 10 girls at the same time. You're gonna have to pick 3, 4 girls who you're gonna answer the phone in a conversation. The other ones you get busy. You can't do it.
Let me say this before Jeremy or Kimberly go though, real quick. That whole point, real quick. But she DM'd you at a certain time and said, "Call me." She gave the number, "Call me," and he picked up the phone and called and then complained. Why would you call? Just don't call.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too, because he said basically earlier in the men's lounge on a previous episode that she called him at 1 o'clock, but then it turns out from what he's saying, he called her because she gave him her number, which we know that according to the ladies and according to Justice, that he has not secured anybody's number.
Got the numbers yet? Yeah.
Right, prior to
which is he has to get the number. I mean, you can't. The phone is more important than the dates. So if he got no phone conversations going on with these women, I can understand why he's about to be on his way out of here. It's not you need that phone.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like, why are you even on the show, dude, if you can't get people's phone number? That's pretty basic. That's like middle school, high school stuff, right? I don't know.
I think he's the type of person who's going to have to narrow it down to who he likes. He's only going to give effort to the person he likes. He can't do the whole. We've seen this with him. He can't do what LJ does well. You know what I mean? With mingling with all the other women and giving them a little, attention and time and playing that. Justin's stuck in his ways. So he's either gonna find somebody he really likes and put some effort into it, or he's just gonna be him and not do anything. It's just how it's gonna go.
Okay. So Katie and LJ come out to find out why Zoe is shouting at Charisse. Katie tries to talk to Zoe and tell him, he needs to kind of calm down. Can we talk about it? Can you guys talk about it? LJ's trying to talk to him. Zoe is basically like, nah, I'm out of here. See y'all. Any thoughts? Kimberly?
I think it's good that Zoe left. To me, I just feel that Zoe was showing who he really is. You can't make a person be, I'm sorry, you just can't. I don't want to get back into the circle again. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. I felt for Charisse, even though she had already showed her aggressive side earlier in the season. It's still what Zoe did was wrong. In my opinion, yes, both were wrong. Let me make sure I say that. But I was nervous for Charisse in that moment. So I'm just glad that he left, which is, kind of what he should have did probably earlier. 30 minutes before. Yeah, but he decided to stay and prove his point and continue to yell and call her fake. And it was just a mess. And who's really fake? I mean, is this him or are y'all saying he's fake because this is not the real him? I just feel this is
the pattern of behavior seems to be the real him. Jay, you have any thoughts?
No, I would agree with Kimberly that that's the real him. That he said it when he was with Tommy. I got to open up and show him who I really am. So this is what we got from it.
He could have left that back where he found it at. I mean, oh my goodness. Okay, Alex, what you got to say over there? What you got to say, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much more to say about that situation. I think Kadian, though, was the perfect person as far as the women to go and speak to Zoe because she can kind of match that energy. Kadian is a confrontationalist. She looks for conflict. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
she's
just
a
who she is. She
provocateur,
likes
isn't
that.
she? She's a provocateur,
Yeah,
isn't
she's a provocateur. And you know, I know one when I see one.
I know you do.
I know one when I see one.
Game recognizes game.
And
Kadian
was the same one. Kadian was the same one who started the drama between Randall and Charisse at the taco party. She kicked it and started it all back up, and then she just sat back and watched.
Yeah,
she's gonna be the only HBIC in this thing.
Exactly. That's what I've been thinking the whole time. And I think the reason why she picks with Shakira is because she's insecure about herself. And she thinks that if Shakira had been mentally and emotionally healthy for this journey, I think Shakira would have done a lot better. And I think that Kadian sees that. I mean, physically, Shakira is a very beautiful woman. Not taking anything away from Kadian. She's attractive too. But yeah. I think she sees who her competition is, and she's trying to weed out the women very, very strategically. Anybody else on that?
I believe, for one, I didn't like him leaving. Basically he's left the show because he didn't show up to the elimination date and stuff like that. I'm a pure believer that if you signed up for the show, no matter what you can't control the outcome anyway.
No.
So just finish it. You know what I mean? Go to the, your elimination. Go, stay on the date as much as you can. He knew he didn't have another connection on the show. We get it. But just ride it out. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna be able to control what's going on anyway. You signed up for it. To me, I ain't gonna say it's coward, like they were trying to make that narrative of, that's that man's time. Wherever he wants to spend it, that's how he wants to spend it. But I can say, you know what I mean? You know what it is. You in it, just spin it, just ride it out for the most part. When she came to talk to him, trust me, as castmates, we know what's going on. Kadian knew that Charisse is playing, leading him on. So she was able to talk to him woman to woman. She was probably telling them, you can't react like that. Like the same thing y'all ladies are saying out here. But I don't want a show where the men are having to tone it down or how they feel and things of that nature and play the game and act like justice. So, be you. You know what I mean? Like I said, as long as you ain't calling nobody out their name, you ain't physically hurt nobody, you put your hands on somebody, you don't have to like each other.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but there should be a certain modicum of respect and decorum. That's me. I'm old school.
I mean, if she started it where she was disrespectful to him in a way that he felt, we're saying that.
How was she disrespectful to him before he started disrespecting her? Because I don't see that.
We're not talking about this scene. We're talking about he was already feeling the type of way before he got on a date with her. They've already had a conversation where he probably felt like he's been getting led on by her. And within the conversations and things, and he's like,
that's a whole lot of imagination going on with you and maybe even him, because I don't see that. And if a guy is being led on,
you don't see the phone conversations.
What is okay? But hold on. But what is so different? Even if a guy, let's say he is getting led on, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he is being led on. That's the whole show, basically. Like, what makes him any different than anybody else on the show that's being led on?
I get what you're saying, and if he was in it to play the game, which you're telling these men not to do, you're telling them to come in and be ready for love and do all this stuff. If he was in it to play the game, then you're 100% right. But if he was in it not to be a part of that and got thrown into that type of situation, he's gonna feel a type of way about it. It's just.
But Ron, let's be real. You're on IG, right? You're on IG. Yeah. Have you not seen the pictures of this man's whole girlfriend that he was dating the whole time while he was on the show too? Like, does that not make a difference?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the specifics of that. He could have been it could have been before taping. Everybody was in was talking to somebody for the show.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So, if you cut it off a week before the show, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt of that and say that's okay.
But I mean, I'm saying actually during that. I'm not talking about a week before, a week after, or whatever. I'm talking about during the whole show. Pictures with her family during the taping of the show, baby, you know, I want to meet your family. Like, you know, usually when a guy or a woman meets someone's significant other's family, usually that kind of means something to most people. Would I be wrong in assuming that, or is that just
no? If he was in a relationship during this show, I'll give you're 100% right, because you can't do it. You're too busy. There's no way you can make connections with women, do all the time restraints and dates and interviews and everything that you got to do with this show, and then still carry on your previous relationship in the middle of this and work. Well, he said he's retired, but it's still too hard to do. So I would tell everybody, if you're going to go on this, go on there with some kind of as clean as you can get the slate before you can. But I don't know the dates and where that right, 100% lined up. I do know that I thought that them two, that he liked her looks and things of that nature. I thought that in my eyes, they were a match, as in
energy and whatnot.
No. As in, if Charisse wants to get married, you got to come to the realization that her husband might look like Zoe. He might not be.
He might not look like Mike.
He might not be 6'5" and with money and muscles and things of that nature. Zoe is older. He's not gonna want kids. She probably is not gonna want to have at 45. Some of this stuff has to make kind of sense going forward, and she's still in her head. Nah, she's looking at him like, like you're not my type, and he's looking at her like, but I am. You know what I mean? So that's another clash.
Right. I got it. Because I have a few friends like that. They're stuck in the dating quagmire of there's so much selection that sometimes you miss your moment because what you're looking for over there. Like my mom always said to me, love who loves you. You cannot sit there and wait and say, well, I'm in love with this one and he's already going off with that one and he's marrying her. And then you're still sitting there twiddling your thumb like that. Like, really? Seriously? But I want to just say this and we're going to move on. Last thing, my last comment and thought was for Zoe, just like he's a dad and he has a daughter, I just had to wonder at the end of this whole episode, him standing one woman up for the interview elimination date. I just had to wonder, like, how would he have felt this whole scene that he had with Charisse? I just want to know if he took himself and put his daughter in Charisse's place and put another man in his place. I want to know how he would have felt. And that's a rhetorical question, so we don't have to answer that. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on because we got some other stuff to do.
Honestly, I would want to know, and I guess just for personal reasons, guys in a lose-lose situation, like I said, if he overreacts like he did.
Lose with grace. Here's my suggestion, Ron.
What was he supposed to do? What was he supposed to do?
Grace. Walk away. Lose with grace.
You can't walk away. You're in they put you in that date.
No, walk away sooner. Walk away while you still have your good reputation intact. I don't know about people not caring about their reputation anymore, but a gentleman, a real true man, in my opinion, cares about his reputation in the community. And yelling and hollering at women, whether he's calling her out of her name, is not acceptable to me.
The narrative is going to be, he can't control the narrative. He walks away, oh, coward. Look what he's doing. You know what I mean? They're going to change the narrative on him anyway. The chips were built against him. I'm saying, you know what I mean? He got emotional because he felt he was being used.
I don't have a problem.
I don't believe the barbecue thing.
I don't have a problem with a man getting emotional, a man or woman getting emotional. But like I said, there's a certain level of control and decorum.
So you should never call her out for being fake,
that's
right?
Almost 50 years old with a big beard. I would expect better. But okay.
In real life, if a man is being fake to you, in a real life dating scene, I don't care if y'all get started dating on date 3, you're going to call him out and say, yo, man, you're being fake. You keep saying you're going to do this. You didn't.
No, you know what I'm going to do, to be honest, me personally, myself, I'm not going to go out with him. It's as simple as that. I don't have to go out with him. He doesn't have to go out with me. And in real life, because let's look at it this way. You're right. They're in a fixed situation where they have to have these meetings, right? But what I'm trying to get across to you, Ron, and anybody else that's listening still, what I'm trying to say is how you behave. Forget about the narrative, Ron. At the end of the day, what you're responsible for is your behavior and your decorum. If he walks away, if he says, you know what, you're right, or this or that in a calm, collected way, and says, you know what, I disagree, we're not getting along, I don't think this is going to work out, I'm going to remove myself because I'm getting quite heated. There's nothing wrong with that. But see, the problem is some men think that it makes them a real man to stay and holler and then go beyond that. Not saying that he did, but some men think that because aggression in men is seen as a win. That's what it is in our world. We live in a male-dominated world, and everybody sees a man that is aggressive as a win. If he cries, that's a loss. I don't see it that way. I say keep your decorum and move on. Because he don't have to.
And what if he walks away? What if he walks away and she walks behind him, pointing at him and carrying?
Wait, I think
that did not happen. You're making up stuff now.
Wait, so like I think what Aubrey is saying is that it's not an issue that he felt, like he was used, or that emotion that he felt about it. That is okay. I think what she's saying is that how he acted upon the emotions is what the issue is. You have to kind of analyze why was he so comfortable to like cuss her out in the way that he did.
He didn't cuss her out. He did.
I mean, yeah, he didn't call her out of her name. Yeah, he didn't call her out of her name. But he don't know her like that to talk to her like that. And she was not giving that type of energy, meaning that she was not cussing at him in the beginning. So what I'm saying is that it is not the fact that he felt slighted. That's okay. I can understand that. Yeah. But it's the fact that why was that your way of handling it as a man who is almost 50 and have daughters of your own? To feel comfortable to talk to a woman like that.
And I agree with that. A woman I think at a reunion, you will see him patch that up.
Or are we going to see him lie and get into an argument with Sharice and try to say that it was something that happened before that, and she's going to deny that? I feel like that's probably what's going to happen.
He's going to be prepped to patch it up. He's a Kappa. They're gonna patch it up. But
I don't know. Like maybe
if he represents somebody's fraternity,
they're gonna patch
most of the people that get on here are Kappas because that's Tommy's. That's Tommy's. That's Tommy's. Frat. But are you a Kappa, Ron?
I'm not a Kappa. It was. I know. I mean, definitely with some Kappas on our season. But I just think that they're gonna talk to him. Somebody should talk to him and say, okay, this went a little too far. You need to apologize to her and get it right. And hopefully he's not so stubborn where he's not willing to do that. Because like you said, I think he's going to look back at this and say, okay, you're right. I didn't have to be as aggressive on that situation. He fell into the trap and got emotional.
So at the reunion, it's being said that it was already filmed and they're still not at odds. Plus, it was also like rumored to be exposed at the reunion that he had a girlfriend this whole time. So if he was dating somebody throughout this whole process anyway, why was he so emotionally connected to what had happened enough to cuss some girl out who he barely knows?
Because he wants to win. Don't you get it? He's competitive. He wants to win.
So Ron, do you think it was competition, or do you think he felt played? Because honestly, he's been playing everybody because he has a girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be both because you can be in this situation and feel played, and you know what I mean, like you can be both. But I don't agree with somebody having a full girlfriend and being on the show. So I think
see what's on the screen, Ron. You see what's on the screen, right?
Oh, what?
Oh, okay. You didn't see. I thought that's why you were chuckling, or Jeremy.
Oh,
no, I'm chuckling because Ron is gonna mansplain all it is. He was like, what's gonna happen is this guy about to be bashing on this.
But I believe now that he might have had a girlfriend. Production might have found out that he was talking to another woman, and that's not gonna go good for you either. But yeah, you shouldn't. If you're in another relationship, you shouldn't be on this show. I think maybe somebody found out about it. But he was in a lose-lose situation. I believe he overreacted. Doesn't mean that he's physically abusive. Doesn't mean he's mentally ill. Doesn't mean he's got a weird stuff.
Don't mansplain anymore. We got a couple more cards to go. Okay, so Shakira comes in the lounge to talk to Tommy. She says she feels betrayed. Samson. Okay, we'll deal with that first. Okay, anyone want to address the conversation that Tommy had with Shakira about Katie and about her business being put out there to the men? Anybody want to talk about that?
First, let me
say this. Let me say something real quick about this, and I'm gonna be very quick. I know a lot of women who best friends, they only have friends that are males because they say all the time, women will backstab you and run and tell your business in a minute. So I know a lot of women. You hear this all the time. I only have male friends, and we think they're sleeping with the guys and all that. No, they know that to tell the guy something is more in confidence than to have a woman tell a woman their business because it's going to end up all over the country. So for Shakira to say, "Oh, I thought that it wouldn't happen," she just being naive. Either she don't know what real life is like, or she's sheltered, or she's very fragile.
I agree with that. She is. She does come across as emotionally very fragile, and I thought that was very naive of her to say that, because we all as women, myself personally, we went to middle school, high school, went to college. You see how some women, just like some men, have motor mouths and are bone carriers and collectors. We see that, and so I agree with you on that part. Is there anything else you want to add to that, Alex? Is that it?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Jay, I think you were about to say something.
That's it.
Yeah. Outside of Katie and saying what she said in front of Mike, we still don't have no proof that was her telling everybody the business. Like she said, many men knew this. And Katie and I don't think is talking to all of these men, period. So that means other people is telling the business as well.
Good point.
And I could name a few people, but I'm not, because I don't know yet. But like, there's other people all in her life. But here's the thing. Once again, we've watched seasons of Bad Girls Club or whatever, and you learn from that. Don't tell people information you've not passed, because the first thing they're going to do is throw it back in your face. So if you're not over it, why are you sharing that information? If you can't handle it being out there, why would you put it out there? And that's at her fault on that. You don't trust valuable information like that with strangers.
That's what it is, because all these people are exactly strangers. Very good point. Jeremy, what you got to add? You over there cackling. What's going on?
Like, she said Bad Girls Club, and I remember like this 5th season when like the girl was like, and that's, I'm not a stripper. I don't be dancing on the pole for money. And then she was like, well, at least I'm not a drug user. Like, like she said something else. And then the girl flipped out, and she was like, you shouldn't be telling people business that you won't throw it in your face. That's all I can think about it.
That's a cardinal rule in any relationship. You do not share vital information that you are unhealed in regards to with people that you really don't know, that time hasn't tested, that you haven't told them one small thing to see if they can even hold water. Because most people, I was talking to Alex about this the other day, I feel like most people, male or female, can't hold water. You tell them something, and a week later, I told somebody something recently, and it wasn't a week later. And I know I'd only said this to one person, and it wasn't anything that I was vulnerable about, so it didn't really matter. But I just wanted to see. And a week later, I heard it. It was circulated. I was like, okay, because I only told it to one person. So I'm like, yeah. And it was a male. Couldn't hold water. So okay, I'm done talking to you.
The thing is, if you don't put that disclaimer in front of it, like, hey, this is just between me and you. Let me tell you something between me and you. I don't think
that should be necessary.
But that has to be necessary because people feel like it's fair game. People don't have a doctor's agreement with everybody.
Right. But you know what? But that just shows to me that again, and I'm not naive about that you have to tell people that, but that's sad, because that just shows again, a lot of people want to talk. Why are people talking about other folks' business instead of talking? If you're talking to somebody, why aren't you talking to them about your future, about what you're doing, about you and what you and they are doing? Why are people always running around talking about others? That just shows that people like to gossip.
But you got to also know that some people are not malicious. Some people just talk. Yeah, and they talk, and they just start talking about everything under the sun, and you are under the sun, so you are part of their conversation, and they just keep going. Some people are like, I got friends that are like that.
Right.
You know, certain information, like even if we didn't say nothing, but we were just at an event together, they're gonna tell that whole event because they're telling their story, but I'm in the story, so everything I did is in the story too. So I'm like, oh God, why? But they just talk.
Okay. They're talkative. Kimberly, thoughts?
I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Are all women blabbermouths, Kimberly? I don't think so.
No, I don't like to do the all and everybody and always words anyway. So I'm going to say no on that one. But I wonder, were they talking about Shakira in a sense of trying to get help for her, or was it really like a malicious intent? I am not sure about that part, but I do feel for her, and I'm glad that she felt safe reaching out to Tommy and talking about the situation. Also, I think it was a good moment in the show just to talk about mental health and depression, anxiety. So I like that they brought that part out, and then she knew herself that, hey, this is too much for me and it's time to go.
Okay. It is. It just definitely does seem like it's time for her to exit. I mean, I like the girl, but she is not healed enough for this process, in my opinion. And that to me, like anybody could see that. Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, anybody could see that she's not ready. She's feeling betrayed. So Samson plans a picnic with Magic Mike, Brandy, and Looney, with some interesting results. Alex, you want to take that the picnic?
Yeah, I think it was very creative on Samson's part. But again, I think Brandy has set her eyes on Mike, her only connection. And I think that if anything happens and Mike gets interested in somebody else, she's no longer going to be useful. She set all her energy and everything into Mike, and Looney's like, listen, we're here too. Let's mix it up a little bit, but she's intent on having Magic Mike. So I think at the end of the day, it's not going to work out well for her, in my opinion. But I applaud Samson for the effort to have that date.
Okay. Jeremy, your thoughts on the date, the picnic? Jeremy?
I don't really yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I was saying that I didn't really have much that like I really had to put into that part specifically. I'm sorry. I'm tongue tied.
Okay, no problem. Anyone else on the date, the picnic, or we'll move on from that. LJ dates gorgeous Trinika, and it seems like their conversation really flows. I'm enjoying their conversation about LJ, of course, is a single parent, a girl dad. And Trinika lets on that she was raised by her stepfather, who had been in her life since she was 1 year old, and so she's totally used to a blended family. Anyone have any thoughts about that conversation or that date?
I think that and you know what, Trinika's starting to grow on me a little bit. Her and Jamala really starting to grow on me a little bit.
Like a fungus.
Not quite like a fungus, but I'm really starting to like them too. Again, Kayla, I think is one of my favorites. The chocolate young lady I like. But they're starting to grow on me a little bit because I like how Trinika handles situations. I like how she deals with things in a more mature, calm type manner. She's willing to dig deep. She's willing to dig a little deeper, in these situations without judgment. And I think that's what I like most about her. So the way she handled LJ, and LJ just being himself, like he said, he's never going to be anything but a cool island guy. That's who he is. But he is putting in the extra effort he told Tommy he would, and I applaud him for that.
Okay, all right. Jay, any thoughts?
Yeah, I wanted to address something Alex said real quick on Brandy and Mike. It's so funny that everybody always say, oh, Brandy's putting all her eggs in one basket, but Mike doing the same. At least they got the same basket together. Why we?
You know what? That's a very good point. I don't really see Mike out here talking to anybody like he's talking
to her. He don't want nobody. That's where he at and stuff like that. So like right now, that's a good thing to me. Neither one of them.
I think Mike gonna get distracted. I think he's gonna get distracted sooner or later.
Shoot. I mean, that's fine if he do, but I mean, right now, shoot, she's in a safe space. If you putting all your eggs in my basket and stuff like that and back and forth, I'm gonna feel good for the moment. I'm gonna ride it out, and that's what she's supposed to be doing. She's supposed to be looking for love. And I mean, only downfall is it is part of her pattern. But hey, if he locking in with me, let's ride. See what happens.
But if he ends up backing up let's say he didn't make it to the end and it turns into a mini relationship. If he decides he ends up wanting to back out of it 3 weeks later, what does the fans do? They end up crucifying the guy.
I mean, they gonna do that, but they're gonna do that because of a lot of the rhetoric that we spill on here, saying, "Well, she put all her eggs in this basket," but we're not looking at the same thing. That he's doing the same thing too, and it just might not work out. Relationships don't work sometimes. That's the truth.
And that's real.
You know,
sometimes people don't see it that way, but
yeah,
I 100% agree.
But as far as Trinika goes and LJ, you know, Trinika a little player right now because she get that little same smile and rhetoric to everybody. Y'all gotta watch her. She's smooth.
She's kind of like the female version of King Randall, huh?
Yeah, she out here doing her thing.
I think Randall is who she likes, but he got a lot going on his plate right now too. So
yeah, like was he really even in this episode like that?
Not that.
No,
much.
he wasn't.
No, not this one, but there are a few people every episode.
But they let it know. They kind of gave you like at the end. It kind of showed you his three connections, and basically he's having a hard time making a decision, and he's gonna have a hard time making a decision all the way up to the end. That's what I see because he doesn't have an easy decision.
No, they battling for him already. You see it.
Yeah, and I think Shanique was smart enough to say, "Hey, I got to give me a couple other connections or something going on here." But at the end of the day, I think that's what she wants. And
I only say that because she was when she was talking to Justice, she was like, "Oh, the other ladies don't get you, but I get you, you know." Like, and then she was kind of doing the same thing with LJ and stuff. I was like, "Okay, girl, I see you, sis. She gonna make her. She gonna be like, y'all gonna vote me." She a smart game player. I give her that.
So then we end up at the ladies' lounge, and Katie and I feel like her approach in talking to others is a little bit problematic, or I'm wondering if it's problematic. Anybody see that it could be problematic? How she talks to others, how she talks to the ladies, how she talks to the men. Ryan, you want to take that?
I just think she gets real. You know, she's keeping it real, and as we see, that can be bad sometimes.
Yeah, real apparently is the excuse for everything. Go up to a cop, spit in his face. You're real. Yeah. Oh yeah. Real. Allegedly.
You really behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
No, I say,
or if you're our color, maybe even deceased.
As we see, there's consequences for, I guess, being yourself sometimes. But she's not gonna change. Like I said, she's gonna give it to. You can tell her response and stuff when it was coming to her. She was kind of like being real about it. She was shaking her head. She wasn't like hiding through the conversation and things of that nature. She was willing and ready to have it. So
yeah,
she's a button pusher.
She is a button pusher. She is a provocateur, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
She seemed, Alex, did you notice how Katie seemed really like upset and kind of displeased that Uncle Nephew Tommy was talking about Shakira's betrayal, and her
because
reaction was really upset.
Yeah, she rolling her eyes and everything as Tommy's talking because I think she knows she's the bandit. You know, that's a guilty role. You know,
right. Tommy didn't say any specific person, but yeah.
Right. So that's a guilty role. So, but again, you know, Katie, she likes to test the waters. I'm gonna go over here and push a button. If she finds out something about you, she's gonna push that button and see how you respond. That's who she is, and she's gonna find. And if you do respond, she's not afraid to back down. She likes that kind of thing.
Yeah, she does. It's going to be interesting to see how that energy works out with her and Swayze. Jay, you have any thoughts about it?
I'll say this. You know, I wasn't agreeing when she came at what's that one, Devin in the beginning, just like, okay, you don't really know him. I'm not mad at her how she attacked this situation with Charisse, because it's like, I give her this. If she gonna say it, she gonna stand in hers. And I have no problem with a person with that. Like I said what I said. That's fine. You know, I don't have to like the way you said. I don't have to agree with what you said. But when you own your stuff for me, I have no problem with it. And then when she holding other people accountable, I have no problem with it. So like, she's kind of growing on me a little bit. I ain't gonna say she's right and she got tact. She ain't got no coof sometimes, but
she doesn't have tact. She absolutely does not. And I don't know why on these YouTube streets why people are calling her HR, because she absolutely would not be HR in anybody's corporation. She would be fired. because of her loose lips. But you know, that's just me. You can't be HR and have access to people's private information and then still be putting it out there in the streets to other people, other employees, if you will, or other castmates. You cannot absolutely do that in HR. But you know,
I mean, I'm with what he said though. You got 10 people talking to 6 people on the phone daily that they don't know, giving out information, bringing up, you know, what's going on in the dates and things. That information gonna fly. You know, you can never pinpoint.
That makes sense. You
never pinpoint one person on that. Now, every episode, I mean, every season, they're gonna. It's just a narrative that they're gonna try to put one person as the snitch or whatever like that. But I'll tell you 9 times out of 10 that's a bull.
Okay.
It's just part of the narrative situation. But
you're right. I can see other people having told, and I won't be. I'm gonna say this: I wouldn't put it past production to be putting bugs in people's ears either.
Yeah, information gets spread. But here's the thing: if you're gonna go on this show, and I'm sick of people doing this, your information is gonna get out. If it's from a classmate, from a ex-girlfriend or boyfriend of yours, or from a blogger, somebody gonna get in your shit. So you got to be prepared to be for that going in, and it's almost better to tell your story before somebody else tells it. So I would hope that Shakira, somebody will open up and we'll finally get to the bottom of all this trauma, what's really going on and stuff before, you know, somebody else says it. She just needs to say her piece.
Does anybody want to take the comment about Black Twitter that's on the screen right now? That Black Twitter is calling Katie a pick-me-sha. Anybody want to address that real quick before we close out?
I don't know if Kadian is a pick me necessarily.
No, not at all.
Right. No.
Like I just feel like she's just not a girl's girl. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Katie. I don't see an issue with her speaking up. I like people like that who you don't have to guess how they feel or what's on their mind. She's just being honest and straightforward about how she feels. So it can be problematic, but it shouldn't be.
It's a funny thing because Alexis Fuller just said it, that they feel like she defends the men's actions, but at the same time, she was the one who was talking to Mike and correcting him about Charisse. She went to Zoe and corrected him about Charisse. So I'm trying to figure out where she's not holding people accountable or whatever, where they need to be held accountable. I don't see how that makes you a pick me. That damn word is like so.
And is that her job at all? Anyway, she's not the enforcer of any grown man in the situation.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not the enforcer, but sometimes when you put men in the friend zone, that's what you do. You sit there and be like, as a friend, let me tell you that energy you just gave off, that wasn't a good thing. She done friend zone these men already. That's first.
Yeah. Some women get along with men. We saw that last season with the Joy and Carmen. They're men, women. You know what I mean? They get along with the men in a certain different way. So when I'm not trying
to push my friends off the petty ledge, I talk them off. Okay, so that's what I be doing. Like, yo, bro, that's not that wasn't.
It was
cool.
Women like that every season. It was always girls that I would call up, as in, they just related to men better. I just felt comfortable sharing different stuff with them, even if it wasn't on a romantic situation. I think she plays that role.
I said that earlier.
Yeah.
So when you felt that way about some of the women on the show, Ron, is that called like a homegirl type of vibe or what?
It's just, yeah. I mean, it's not it's not a homegirl type of vibe. It's just one of them women that you just make us feel comfortable around, saying more stuff, more trust, and it relates more to men. You know what I mean? It's just, and they might tell you how to, react in the situation. And like, prime example, you could tell me something, how to react in the situation if I asked you for advice with one of the female castmates on the show. Mm-hmm. And the girl on there, you could tell me the same thing. And I just relate to the way she said it to me a little more because she just relates to men more. And I'll be like, oh, I get it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she plays that role where she could explain it to a man and he goes, okay, I get it. I bet when she said she was the one that talked to Zoe, remember in the lounge afterwards, Zoe probably called her up. Zoe felt comfortable, even as mad as he was, even not showing up to the situation, to reach out to her probably, or vice versa, to have that conversation. She plays that role.
Well, anybody want to take what we saw in the trailers coming up for next week, and then we're gonna wrap it all up?
Yeah, the main thing I take from that trailer is Shakira is having one too many meltdowns at this point, and I think it's time for her to give up this process. She just is not strong enough. She's not healed. She should not be on the show. You know, all of her attractiveness and cuteness and all that stuff is, you know, that's not going to get it. Okay, we need somebody that's resilient, and she has not healed yet, so she should not be on the show, because every time somebody says anything to her, she go off in the corner and starts crying. She's breaking down on camera crying. It's just, you know, it's enough is enough already with her.
Okay,
Weeping
Kimberly,
Willow.
Weeping Willow. Stop it. Not a tree from the south.
Yeah, I call her a crying lily.
Oh, you call her what?
A crying lily.
A crying lily. Kimberly, I know you're gonna have something very ladylike and tactful to say. So you kind of summarize it a little bit.
I'm just looking forward to this date with Sharice and LJ. I was not expecting to see that part to come up, but I did want to circle back to Justice and his comment about taking the girl to Tronika to his restaurant. He's like, I hope you're going to pay for the next meal. And he's like, because it's going to be at my restaurant and it'll be free. I didn't like that. It's true. Just regular old Justice.
Oh my God.
Didn't he say at his house? Didn't he say at his house?
He is such a dusty.
Oh, I was thinking at least a restaurant. So he's talking about a house.
I thought he said his house. I had to watch it again because I thought he was talking about his house.
His restaurants or something.
Okay. I was like, oh.
So I assumed he was at least talking about a restaurant.
Yeah, he said my spot. It's gonna be my spot, so is everything gonna be free? That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what I assumed it was his house when he said my spot.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah. Oh, that's what he meant. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. What a cheapskate. Oh my gosh.
He was excited too.
He ain't hiding it. He won't. Yeah.
Where do they find these dusty men? Stop it. Oh my goodness.
Is he dusty because he upfront about it?
Yeah, he does. He don't want to spend no money on a date. Yes, he is absolutely dusty. Okay. Yes, I said it. He's dusty. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. He's giving off dusty-like tendencies. Okay, guys. Well, you can find our guys here. You got Kimberly Reviews. Kimberly, you wanna throw a hand up right quick? Kimberly. Yes, Kimberly Reviews, who's on YouTube. You got Alex, who, well, you know what? He can't throw his hands up. So you got Magnetic Repellent with Alex. You got Ron over there. Ron, when are you going to get your channel up and going so I can come nag you on your channel?
It's coming soon.
It's coming soon. You got I am Ron Freeman on Instagram, Jeremy Speaks TV here on YouTube channel, and you got Jay Another Round also on the YouTube streets, guys. Could you guys drop Ellen or Monique? Could you drop my membership
link?
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't get it out. Link. And guys, we're gonna be back in an hour. I wanted to wrap this up because we'll be back at 9 p.m. tonight with a all new, wonderful married. Whose mic is on? Married at First Sight review panel. Kimberly will be a part of that, and we've got a special guest. India and Igor will be here tonight, so we'll be doing maths tonight. So stay tuned for that. Kimberly, I'm going to send you your link in just a minute. Monique. Oh, there she goes. All right, guys. And we're on our way out of here. Good night.
Peace.
Please.